I don't care about your opinion is my opinion. In my opinion, I'm leaning now into my opinion. We're speaking opinion here. I just think that my opinion is this. None of that actually matters. I feel like you. I don't care about anything but the actual evidence.
Do you have any evidence for it?
For what? Is begin this trial with the evidence that you have.
Yeah, but do you have positive evidence?
I'm answering the question as I feel like you should follow your intuition. They are producing no evidence. I feel like I don't care about your opinion. I feel like
See how that's intuition?
That is. I am. I just said that. I don't care about anything but the actual evidence. Just something feels wrong here. Intuition's the first step. Something feels off. Doesn't feel right. Now you're wanting me to provide evidence. Please begin this trial with the evidence that you have. You don't have to. You're just allowed to think, Candace, where's your evidence? Not a conspiracy, though. I don't care about anything but the actual evidence that is in the case.
Howdy ho there, neighbors. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Edie, but today you can call me Brigitte and Brigitte Bardot, not Brigitte Macron. I'm sure all the candies would love that. If you're thinking this is reminiscent of my Pamela look, well, that's because Pamela's look was modeled after Brigitte Bardot. Pamela's makeup artist, Alexis Vogel, rest in peace. She called Pammy's look the baby Bardot. Favorite look with the baby doll eye and the bouffant hairdo. I am feeling good. This top was pants, and I turned it into a little play suit. Actually, it's not a full play suit because it's a two-piece, but they're high-waisted shorts. Totally cute. Oh my goodness. So feminine and cute. How have you all been? I was away last week. It was impromptu. I apologize, but I did post some oldies but goodies. And a lot happened in the world last week. The girls have gone wild. I don't understand what happened. I posted on X last night. Fellas, I don't know what happened to women's brains last week, but we're not all crazy. We're not all psychopaths. So, anyway, today we are going to be talking about Candy Cane. Ooh, Candy and Andy. Well, actually two Andys, a Blakey, and a Candy. As you know, there was the great debate Friday before last. It was, and some people thought Andrew could have done better. I think we need to look at this as a win. I love him. I really do. And I think he did a fantastic job. I gave him a 10 out of 10 when Gary was asking people to rate it. 10 out of 10. I was not expecting Candace to come with any new revelations, any proof, because she doesn't have any proof to back up her ridiculous asinine claims. What I was expecting is exactly what I got, which was for Andrew to put her in her place, to put a spotlight on her. You've been blowing smoke for nearly a year. Where's your evidence? Where's your evidence? When pushed, Candace pulled out her victim card and said, "You're here trying to depose me. This is no longer a debate. This is a conversation." Andrew said, "No, this is a debate. I paid you for a debate." She looked absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that's just putting aside whatever high waters she was wearing, waiting for the flood to come, and her puffy Reebok sneakers. I don't understand. You know, she can't even blame pregnancy. I've known many a pregnant woman looking fly in their pregnancy. Yes. We can't blame it on that. With her linebacker blazer, and she had the gall to wear the Shabbat Shalom Daddy's Home sweater underneath it. I caught a glimpse of it. I was like, is that the Daddy's Home Shabbat Shalom? She has no shame. She's not capable of feeling shame because she has no soul. She is evil incarnate. Anywho, I thought Andrew did fabulous. Candy and her cultists, they're delusional and think that she won the debate. Candace was there. She presented her case. No, she didn't. What did she present? There were clear expectations going into the debate. And that's why Andrew made it public. It's like, we're not there just to talk about the facts of the trial, the Tyler Robinson trial. I want to question you, Candy, about all your 8,500 claims. The French Foreign Legion, the Egyptian planes, tunnels, She had no evidence at all because she doesn't have any. We already knew that. She said, you're just allowed to think. I don't need evidence. I don't need positive evidence, positive proof. You're just allowed to think. Follow your intuition. Okay. Did you guys like the intro to this video? She doesn't know what she says. She doesn't know that the internet is forever and that people can find her past statements. The whole Andy Tate thing was happening a couple of years ago. She said, I don't care what you think about him. I don't care if you think he's a sexist, he's a racist, he's a bigot, blah, 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 blah. I only care about the evidence of the case. But now she cares about feelings and opinions and her intuition. That's what you need to follow. She's really changed her tune on that. Okay, but we're going to watch a couple of Candy clips and then a clip of the two Andys and Blake. And then we'll chat. Okay. I missed you guys a lot.
I'll never forget it. She says, I will burn down that organization. I swear to God.
And you mean Turning Point?
Turning Point. If the wrong people, and I just assumed it was very obviously
there were
anti-Jewish.
rumors at this time, like it was
this is
chatter
5
online.
days, 6 days after, whatever it was. She said, "I'm going to burn down that organization. I swear to God." And I just thought she meant if the Jews take over or something
Ben
like
Shapiro.
this.
Let's just say the name.
Ben
People were
Shapiro,
throwing
yeah.
out because Ben Shapiro had appeared on the show.
And
Some people ran with like Ben Shapiro has now taken over Turning
Well,
Point
he hadn't
USA.
appeared. I don't know if he had appeared on that. I think he was actually going to show up the next day on the Tuesday because it went JD, the Daily Wire guys, Glenn Beck, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, that first week.
I don't think that you even know what you just said there and how much of a bombshell that is. Can you repeat that again? Did you just say that Candace Owens told you that if the wrong people take over TPUSA, she's going to burn it to the ground?
Yeah, like 5 or 6 days after Charlie was.
And then what did you say?
And I
how did
said,
she
I
reply?
told her because I knew that Charlie had told me multiple times, and I'll say 2, maybe 3 times I'd heard it. Then I was at Aspen when he repeated
and I'd
it.
said it was a miasma. This would come up in conversation, and everyone would say
we all just knew if something happened to Charlie that Erica would take over, but we didn't think that hard about it because we just kind of assumed Charlie was going to be with us for the next 56 years. But at that point, I told her before it was public information, Erica, I think, is going to take over. And, she's very conservative. She's Christian. This is what Charlie wanted. The board was informed about this when Charlie was alive. Like, this is what's going to happen. Like, you don't have to go there. I remember because like a chill went down my spine. And I said, well, don't say that, Candace. Like, Erica's going to take over. And you kind of heard her react like, oh, okay. Okay. Like, it kind of it takes
on a different meaning over time, I think. That in the moment,
she's going to burn it.
It means she's
ground.
reassured.
I'm going to say something that people aren't going to like. Shocker. I didn't really like Andrew Colvett and Blake Neff. And I'll tell you why. Now, I am happy that in recent months, they've started pushing back on Candace. I am happy about that. I support them in that. But Andrew, and this is the problem I've had with him since the beginning, why on earth were you giving any information to Candace? I understand while Charlie was alive, even though this is to his discredit. I've said many a time, this is why you don't entertain evil. We wouldn't be in this mess with Candace if you guys just put the kibosh on her straight away. You don't stroke her ego. You don't give her an inch. She'll take 1,000,000 miles. Okay? While Charlie was alive, since he's your boss, if he told you to appease her, I got it. But Charlie was slaughtered in front of the world. And you need not provide a wicked witch any information. You just made her think that she had the right to more information. Whatever you gave her was not going to be enough. Okay? So why are you explaining anything about Turning Point at all to her? You should not have spoken to her at all. At all. She has a history of twisting things. Why on earth would you do this? Why on earth? Why? You don't need to tell her who's taking over Turning Point. It's not her business. It's actually nobody's business. It's Erica's business. I know that we can't cry over spilled milk. What's done is done. And I know that we serve a good God. God is always good, even when things aren't. And he will restore all that the locust took. What the enemy meant for bad, he can and will turn to good. We just have to trust in him, lean not on our own understanding, put your hope and trust in the Lord God Almighty. By the way, Jesus is Lord. Jesus Christ, who is God incarnate, born of a virgin, walked this earth sinless, tempted as we are, but never sinned, ever, ever. Took a punishment on a cross that we are all worthy of, because we are all sinners, worthy of death and hell. The wages of sin is death, and God is not a man that he should lie. And somebody had to take a punishment, a sinner's punishment, sinner's wrath. And Jesus Christ willingly laid down his life. Nobody took it from him. He willingly laid it down and took a brutal, long, agonizing punishment. It wasn't short and sweet, as I say all the time. He wasn't nice and clean up there. All the Easter depictions of Jesus, he looks comfy. He looks cute and nice and tidy. He did not look human. He was whipped and scourged, taken in the middle of the night. He was mocked, ridiculed. They took a crown of thorns and pounded it into his skull. And ripped out pieces of his beard and spat on him and mocked him, saying, "Hail, King of the Jews." Then they made him carry his cross, and they dug nails into his hands and feet. And it was agonizing. Before they came and took him, and he was praying to the Lord, he was so overcome with grief and sorrow at what was before him that he started sweating blood. That's how stressed out he was, because he was fully God and fully man. But he took it for us. He took it for us. And after he gave up his spirit, he was put into a tomb. And 3 days later, that tomb was empty, because he resurrected in body from the dead, and people testified to the resurrection of the living God. And people testified to seeing him and being with him, and were willing to die for their testimonies of having seen and been with Jesus. They were willing to die. And then he ascended to the right hand of the Father, where he now reigns, and he's coming back soon. It's the greatest news that you can deliver. I encourage each and every one of you to give the gospel today. Talk about Jesus. Find a way to talk about Jesus today. You don't know. It's not up to us to convince people. It's just up to us to give the message, a message of hope. Gospel means good news. It's the greatest news I've ever heard, and it's the greatest news I've ever given. And God is always good. So, with that said, I know that all of this turmoil and all of this chaos, God is doing a work in people. He is. It's separating the wheat from the tares, shining a light in the darkness. Like, people's masks are off. Praise the living God. Praise the living God. But Andrew and Blake, they've made a lot of mistakes. Erica is doing a fabulous job. I can't get over her strength and grace and poise and just the way that she is carried on, and she gives all glory to the living God for that. So I'm not placing blame on her. I think that she is fantastic. I don't think that she should have met with Candace. They should not have even given her anything. They should have just blocked her. But, you do the best you can with what you have to work with, and just try to make the best of things. And I think they went into that hoping, because they try to see the best in people, especially Erica tries to see the best in people. I know that Candace said that. She said it outright. I feel like a dragon. I was breathing fire. You know what I mean? She thinks that she's a dragon, and she wants to burn it all to the ground because it's not hers. And recently she said, I don't want a 501c3. I don't even run my own company. I think I have that clip. I'm not surprised by this. Let's see what she had to say.
I have a lot to say, a lot to share. I'm just over here reflecting on everything that Turning Point USA has put me through in the last 11 months. How completely unacceptable it is. I don't know. It's just because I'm getting fatter, more pregnant. I do get a little bit angrier when I'm growing a boy. But it's just the lies, the attacks, the full-time influencer, the ring of influencers that are going after my family, journalists, working with them to insert stories about me, implying that I'm the true assassin of Charlie Kirk. It just can't stand, at least not today. Andrew Colvett, by the way, is lying so badly. He brought on Andrew Wilson, who I debated last Friday, onto their Beavis and Butthead platform. Making Andrew so angry is that he knew more than I knew, obviously. And so what would have been taken as a sign of friendship, like, hey, let's get together. I always said that to you. My mindset in those early days was I just never for a single second thought anything Turning Point USA would have indicated that Turning Point USA was suspicious. And I went in there with all a genuine heart, like basically saying to Andrew, like, use me as your dragon, because if this is how this went down and Charlie lost his life to this, I'm just so angry. And like, we have to fight. It was basically a call to war. Yeah. And by the way, I'm very proud of that. I'm proud that I was loyal to Charlie and was willing to fight whoever it is. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm still doing that. I made that clear. I said that on my own show, in those early days. You're not breaking any news. I said on my own show that anybody who did this, who was with or somehow coordinated and trying to take down Charlie for their own selfish means had made an enemy of me. And I meant that. And it sure as heck is not because of some narrative that I wanted his company. Like, I do not want to run a 501c3. Thank you very much. My life is great. I don't even run my own company, so I'm good. Life is good. Being a mom and being able to podcast.
Life's good? Honey, you're the most miserable witch I've ever witnessed in my life. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Did she say all that Turning Point has done to her over the last 11 months? This woman, you know what? She needs mental help. She needs to see a psychiatrist. She needs to be evaluated. If she truly believes this, she is not in reality. She really just sat here on the Lord's internet, as Jay Witt Group Therapy would say, sat here on the Lord's internet saying that Turning Point USA has been torturing her for nearly a year. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Take a gander. Just do this. It'll be the long scroll. You'll just be swiping that phone. Swiping there on your remote. Down. Nearly every single thumbnail since September 10th has included Charlie Kirk, people from Turning Point, the Turning Point logo, Frank Turek, all the Turning Point affiliates, everyone involved in Charlie's life, Turning Point. She has not shut up. Tweet after tweet after tweet. She received a cease and desist for the harassment. She's a lunatic. She's actually dangerous. I'm worried about her. I'm worried about her children. I'm worried about George, if this is what they have to live with. She's not thinking clearly. She has no self-awareness. That makes her really, really dangerous. For her to say that, oh my God, goodness gracious, she went after Erica's 50 times removed family line. She mocked her dying mother. Pictures purporting that it was Erica, and it was actually not Erica. In the little bee costume, accused her of being a Mason, accused her of being an emotional asset, said she never loved Charlie, said Charlie's life was the Truman Show. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Said everyone. Charlie was betrayed by those closest to him. And that they were all complicit. Complicit in his murder. Tried to cover it up. That Erica was at Fort Huachuca. Bitchy boy saw her there. Because you don't forget those eyes in the ponytail. I don't know. She might be suffering from a psychosis. Recently said Lindsay Clancy was not guilty. She would say, no. They poked me, so I stabbed them. That's her. I can't believe I ever liked her. Ever. I am embarrassed. That's why I tell the Candies, like, there's hope for you. But you know what? The hardcore candy cultists, they're dangerous as well. They're dangerous. And Candace is a cult leader. Okay, one more clip from Candy, and then we'll wrap this up. I just thought that this was humorous coming off the heels of her debate with Andrew.
I also want to say this. Public lies, or let's assume they aren't lies, actually. Let's say they are just honest mistakes with no ill intent. They still need to be addressed publicly. They deserve to be treated with the same public attention, the same public accountability, especially from an organization that exists as a charity, right? They rely upon our goodwill. As an example, when Erica publicly stated with confidence on Glenn Beck's show that Charlie was not sending text messages the night before, signaling that he was worried he was going to be killed, it then becomes incumbent upon Erica herself to correct the record publicly when we learn that that isn't true. That's how you build goodwill with the public. You take accountability. Like when we make honest mistakes on the show, we always own them. We always correct them as immediately as we have more information, as publicly as when we first asserted them. When it comes to Turning Point USA, it's just amazing. It feels like we're just being perpetually gaslit by them. We're offered a biblical proverb, like how dare you even ask us to explain why what we told you before is completely inconsistent with what we're saying now. They're just suggesting that we're evil for noticing these various inconsistencies and illogical points that are being presented by them. Why? I don't know if it needs reminding, but in this country, it is innocent until proven guilty. So why does it seem that Turning Point USA and their representatives and their affiliates are so hell-bent on sending a 22-year-old young man to his death?
Innocent until proven guilty. Okay, so then why have you sat there for 11 months and asserted with full confidence that Turning Point, Egypt, Israel, Russia, France, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Britney Spears, is engaged and complicit in the murder of Charlie Kirk? You said that Erica should have been dragged into a police precinct for questioning. That Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, the person he chose to take his last name and be the mother of his children and to grow old with, was involved in his murder, in orchestrating and carrying out his murder. Yes, Candace, you've said it and you've proven none of it. So you've already claimed they are guilty. So you're not even holding true to your own standard. You hold people to a standard you yourself don't meet. The rules don't apply to you. You're just allowed to say whatever. You're allowed to think. You're allowed to go off of your intuition, but nobody else is. You're just allowed to sit here and flap your jaws and say ridiculous things, looking more and more like Obama each and every day. Am I right? Remember that picture of her when she was grieving after Charlie was killed on a boat, holding the fish? I'm telling you, I will find that photo because she looks just like Obama. I remember when Gary posted that pyramid tactic, and I was like, is this Obama? It looks like Obama. If it's innocent until proven guilty, why do you keep asserting that people are guilty? Why? Erica owes you no explanation. She owes nobody an explanation. She owes you nothing. Nothing. She doesn't have to tell you one thing. She doesn't have to backtrack anything she said. She doesn't have to do a darn thing she doesn't want to. Because she's Erica Kirk, Mrs. Erica Kirk, CEO of Turning Point USA. And you are Candy Owens farmer with a sad life, just trying to destroy everything that Charlie built. And you will not succeed. And one day, Candy, your insidious little personality disorder is going to catch up with you. And I just hope that I'm around to see it.